Previously on Alan Wake. I came to Bright Falls with my wife, Alice.
Thank you for coming here with me. I thought maybe you could write here.
I don't want to hear it! God damn it, Alice!
Now, she's missing.
Alice? Alice?
I woke up behind the wheel of a crashed car. I'm missing a week. I was attacked by shadowy men straight from a nightmare. The sheriff took me to the lake Alice and I had stayed at, but the cabin had disappeared.
Honey, I'm home.
Back here, sweetie. How was it?
Worst weather I've ever seen.
You should put some coffee on. It'll warm you up.
Un cafecito, ¿eh? Enciende la cafetera. Vale. Primer objetivo de este vídeo. Muy buenas y bienvenido a este vídeo. Aquí Saren. Seguimos con nuestro escritor favorito, Alan Wake. Así que unos años atrás. La cafetera, aquí.
Coffee's on.
Great, thanks. I'll need it if I'm gonna finish this by tomorrow.
Me imagino que este es su apartamento, ¿no? En la ciudad. Madre mía, qué nevada. En la New York. Nada por aquí. Vale, pues nada, vamos con Alice. No, mira, un termo.
Oh, hey, I just finished those cover mock-ups. They're on your desk. Tell me what you think.
No kidding. I didn't think you'd get them done this quickly.
On occasion, I can perform all sorts of miracles, my dear.
Oh, really?
Well, you seemed to think so last night.
Ve al estudio. A ver, ¿qué nos ha dejado aquí? La Alice. Sus libros, Alan Wake. Return to Sender. What I Can Forget. Alice Cassie. The Things That I Want. Y The Fall of Cassie. Página de manuscrito. The sudden stop.
It's true what they say about the fall and the sudden stop at the end. I'd lain here in the snow while the lurid chain of scenes that had led me here kept playing in my head. A rerun of my own private snuff movie. A memory of my corpse. Alone at my own wake. Thinking in metaphors again. The femme fatale was gone. Only a sour taste remained of the kiss that killed me. This was a late goodbye. 13 years after I'd gotten my revenge, it had finally caught up with me. It had been a long time to bear the pain. My blood painted the snow red. A gruesome slushy dissolved all the scattered painkillers and leisurely dripped down to the sewer, mingling with the bile of the city, becoming one with it. I can see them now, my wife and my baby. Honey, I'm home.
Okay.
These look really good.
Oh, sure, until Barry gets his hands on them. Which, by the way, will happen over my dead body. The last time was the last time. Oh, and speaking of Barry, he called. Alan! Alan, please check the fuse box.
I'm right here. I'm on it, honey.
Please hurry.
I'm right here, baby.
I'm fine. Just get the lights back on. Now, please.
Honey, it's a power outage. I've got the flashlight.
Okay.
Venga, que te alumbro. Es la fobia.
You okay?
I'm sorry. It just really spooked me.
Don't worry. We'll just break out the candles.
I know it's stupid, but it's just... especially when I'm not prepared for it, you know? It gets to me.
I love you.
Tell me a story, writer.
Okay. I used to have these nightmares when I was a kid. The dark really spooked me, too. When it got really bad, my mom gave me this old light switch. She called it the clicker.
The clicker, huh?
Yeah. If I ever got scared of the dark, I could just flip the switch and a magic light would scare the monsters away.
Oh, sure.
Here it is.
Alan.
Maybe it'll help you, too.
Yeah, nice story, writer boy. You made that up right now, didn't you?
No. Seriously.
I love you, even if you are a liar. Thanks for this.
Regresamos al presente.
How do you feel, Mr. Wake? Any nausea, disorientation, anything like that? Mr. Wake, how are you feeling?
I'm okay. My head's fine. I had to lie about my headache and memory loss. He'd send me to a hospital for tests. I couldn't leave without Alice.
Very well. I don't think you have a concussion, but you've obviously been through quite a shock. You should take it easy for a couple of days.
Thanks.
Well then, Mr. Wake, we're done here. If the pain gets any worse or you experience any other symptoms, you should come see me. I'll let you get on with it then. Sarah, Sheriff Breaker, is waiting for you. She's very good at her job. I'm sure she can locate your wife in no time.
Doc Nelson was the image of a small-town doctor. Sheriff Breaker had called him to the station to take a look at the cut in my head.
La sheriff. De acuerdo, pues nada, vamos ahora con Sara.
I'm sorry you had to cut your morning fishing short for this, Doc.
Oh, she's a beauty, ain't she? Not the biggest I ever caught, if you can believe that coming from an old fisherman like me, but she's right up there. Now, she's a largemouth bass, which is what you're after if you prefer a lure. Now, if you want either trout or salmon, on the other hand, then it's fly fishing for you. You a fishing man, Mr. Wake? Oh, doesn't really matter, I suppose. But it can be very relaxing out there. You can't get me off the water this time of year. Closest thing to heaven.
I'll take your word for it, Doc.
La pesca.
I believe you'll find the sheriff in her office. Just go down the corridor.
Perfecto. Thank you, Doc. Antes de irnos de aquí, vamos a mirar rápidamente si hay algo por aquí. Si hay algo, claro. Si no hay nada, pues nos vamos. Ahí está otra vez esa mujer que...
Thank you for testing the lights, Miss Weaver. Everything seems to be fine.
I don't have the luxury of being complacent, Deputy Grant. The bulbs will need changing soon. You can't change them in the dark.
I'll be sure to take care of it, Miss Weaver. Have a nice day now.
Very good. I'll come back later on to remind you, just in case.
Mr. Wake, the sheriff is waiting for you in her office down the corridor. That was Cynthia Weaver. I guess you can call her the town eccentric. She used to be the editor of the local newspaper, but she's focused on, other things these days.
She'd fit right in where I come from.
As you can see, she's a little obsessed with maintaining the light bulbs of the whole town, refuses to step on shadows, things like that. Back in her day, she wrote about all sorts of weird things in the paper. Bright Falls has a colorful history. Of course, what small town hasn't?
Parece como si esa señora supiera algo de la oscuridad, ¿no? Está a la defensiva.
The sheriff wants to see you in her office, Mr. Wake.
Sí. Pero antes déjame espiar, buscar, interactuar un poco. Quizás ella más adelante nos salve el pellejo en algo. Con respecto a la oscuridad. Quién sabe. Otro termito de café, ¿eh? Oh. Bingo. Alice ve una sombra.
Alice looked through the viewfinder, lining up the shot. Cauldron Lake was breathtaking. Something caught her eye. A figure standing in the shadows behind the cabin, like a thin woman in a black dress. She lowered the camera and looked again. No one there. Just a collection of bushes that looked vaguely human-shaped. She shook her head and laughed.
Joder. Qué creepy.
Yeah, it's Mulligan here. I'm at Stucky's gas station with Thornton.
Momento de sintonizar la radio.
Wait.
Daré cuenta.
Yeah, this is Thornton. Look, we've located the brake float. It's here. That's some good news, right? Stucky was supposed to be driving it at the rehearsals today. Over. Oh, give me that. Mulligan here. Looks like someone really thrashed the garage. Over. Okay, roger that, guys. Keep looking for Stucky. Jane's out.
Está aquí. Ya hemos aniquilado a ese personaje.
Sheriff Breaker is waiting for you down the corridor in her office.
Ya voy. Gatito desaparecido. Gatito. Bueno, no solamente un gato, por lo visto. ¿Han visto a este hombre? Desaparecido desde el 20 de 6 del 2007. Rasgos característicos siempre ganan en los concursos. Desaparecido. Richard Powell, Bruce Daskin y Jacob Miller. Salieron de acampada hace días. Deberían haber vuelto y no se han puesto en contacto. Si los veo, sabe de su paradero. Llame al... Sí. Gracias. Y del gatito. Del gatito nada, ¿no? Solamente las personas. Venga, vamos al sheriff.
Mr. Wake, your phone's on the desk. The battery was dead. It's charged now.
Ah, perfecto.
Have you started looking for my wife yet?
My men are already on it. Now, can you tell me what happened?
I'm not sure. I can't remember. We were arguing. I walked out of the cabin.
The cabin on Cauldron Lake?
How did you end up at Stucky's gas station?
I wanted to tell her what had happened last night, but I couldn't. She'd lock me up. Excuse me. I need to take this. Hello?
Alan, please help me.
Alice?
Stop talking to the law. You'll do exactly what I say if you ever want to see your wife again.
Who is this?
Go to the back lot. There's a hole in the fence on the left. Look inside the junker. I left a little something there to convince you we're all on the same page here. After you ditch the cops, you're gonna meet me in Elderwood National Park. There's a spot called Lover's Peak. Midnight. Don't do nothing stupid, pal.
Mr. Wake, can I help you with anything?
I need to get some air. The sheriff said I could go out back.
Of course, Mr. Wake. You can get there through the cell corridor. Just don't mind Walter in there. He's one of our regulars.
I thought he quit drinking for good.
Oh, no such luck. He went on a bender and beat Danny pretty badly. He started shouting like that the moment he woke up.
Hey, can you turn the light? The light's on. The deputies, they don't understand. They won't listen to me. I need it to be bright in here.
La luz, claro.
Thank you, man, thank you. Hey, you're all right. You're a good guy. Don't let anybody tell you different. You know, I shouldn't even be in here. The cops, they got it all wrong. See? Sure, I beat him up, but I wasn't drunk. I mean, I wasn't drunk at the time. I only got drunk afterward. Okay, listen, you gotta listen carefully now. Here's the kicker. That wasn't Danny. No, sir. It only looked like him. You wanna know who it really was? I'll tell you who it really was. It was a goddamn space alien! I know it sounds like...
Parece que este también ha visto
but believe me,
a los poseídos.
I wasn't drunk then.
Vale, amigo, tranquilo, que te va a dar algo.
I told him, oh yeah, well, I don't hear...
The early morning light hurt my eyes and made my head ache. The man on the phone had said, go through the fence on the left.
La verja de la izquierda. Vale, pero primeramente autotermo por aquí y una sintonizada de radio.
Well, folks, it's been another long night, and it's about time for me to sign off for a while. God knows I need my beauty sleep. Just one more item before I go. It's been a busy night for the sheriff's department. We've had a few broken windows, even a report of shots fired on Main Street. Deputies Mulligan and Thornton had to deal with two intoxicated young men who were celebrating the completion of their Deer Fest float. Now, folks, we get this every year. I know it's exciting, the big day's almost here, but let's save it for the party and leave the gunplay for the shooting competition, huh? There's no point in getting all worked up yet.
Vale. Debe ser por ahí.
The caller had told me to find a hole in the fence behind the police station. There was something for me in an abandoned car.
Por lo visto deja explorar un poco. No tanto, pero bueno. Te dejamos ver, ¿no? Algo es algo. A ver cómo pasamos. Examina el coche abandonado. ¿Puedo saltar y subir? No. Ah, acaba por aquí, coño. Seré. Otra página por aquí. Wake and Lover Speak.
The kidnapper fired his gun one last time, and the shadow vanished into the darkness it had come from. See? Nothing to it, Wake. The thought of Alice in his hands was revolting. We stood on the wooden platform of Lover's Peak, the waterfall and the mountain behind us, the lights of the radio mast blinking red in the heights above. I fought with the urge to take a swing, force myself to speak. Let's cut the act now. Where's my wife?
Déjese de historias. ¿Dónde está my wife?
Alice's driver's license had been placed on the front seat. The caller meant business.
Hostia, pues sí.
Barry?
Ow! Thank God! Where the hell have you been? I've been trying to reach you for a week, you and Alice. Oh, I've been worried sick. I flew out yesterday. I'm here in Bright Falls.
Barry, listen to me. I'm at the sheriff's station. Come and get me. I can't talk now.
Ow! What the hell is going on?
I had to get the sheriff to let me go. I needed to get to Elderwood National Park to meet Alice's kidnappers.
Vale, soy de la oficina del sheriff. Como decía las páginas en el primer vídeo, el Barry ha venido por nosotros. lo que me estaba dejando por aquí. La presencia oscura en la cafetería.
In spite of its human mask, to describe the dark presence as intelligent would have implied human qualities on something decidedly inhuman. Nonetheless, it found the one spot in the diner that was dark enough. Some light spilled into the corridor, ravaging it. But it took the pain. Horrible as it was, the writer would soon fix that. He would be coming to the one place where it still had power.
A writer is a light that reveals the world of his story from darkness, shapes it from nothingness. The way a sculptor carves a statue from a block of granite. If I stop, the world I'm making dies. Darkness will reclaim it. It's a long, hard journey into the dark. Alice's life is at stake, but I can't think about that, or I'll lose it. The dread lingers at the edge of perception. I'll push on. Anything is possible here. I'll write the story. I'll save her.
Joder, y encima se quema la tele. Es como si otro Alan Wake en otro multiverso estuviera escribiendo mientras nosotros recorremos la historia que él mismo escribe.
Marvelous, Sarah. I just wanted to settle all the damage the Anderson brothers might have inadvertently caused on their recent and regrettable little outing. They are not accountable for their actions, of course. I can assure you that my staff has been reprimanded.
Tor and Odin never caused any trouble to anyone when they were still living at their farm.
Indeed. All we can do is to slow down the progress of their dementia.
Are you feeling any better, Mr. Wake?
I'd like to leave. Am I free to go?
Well, we still need to talk about...
Am I under arrest?
No, of course not. But I need to know where you'll be staying so I can get in touch with you.
I'd avoid the motel. The Majestic is known for its roaches. The cabins at Elderwood are pretty nice, though.
That sounds perfect.
I'm Dr. Emil Hartman. I'd like to invite you to stay at Cauldron Lake Lodge.
Did you talk to my wife?
I had the pleasure of discussing your situation with her on several occasions.
Did you set something up with her?
I invited her here. My clinic is a place where...
Oh, hey! Oh, my... Easy.
Hey, nobody move! Get your hands off of my client!
Who are you?
I'm Barry Wheeler, his agent. If you have business with Mr. Wake, you talk to me. You yokels won't know what hit you once I sick my lawyers on your asses.
No harm done, Sarah. I'm all right. I don't want to press charges. Mr. Wake, my offer still stands.
Get me out of here.
What the hell was that about, Al? We don't need a replay of that thing with the paparazzi. I thought they were gonna lock you up.
I had to talk to someone. I told Barry everything. He thought I was certifiable, but when he heard about the manuscript, I had him. The fact that I'd written something, even if I couldn't remember it, was enough for him. He smelled money. And he believed that Alice had been kidnapped. Anything beyond that was another story. I had a midnight appointment with the kidnapper in a place called Lover's Peak, somewhere in Elderwood National Park. The plan was to rent a cabin.
I don't like it, Al. I don't like any of it. It's not good. In fact, it's the absolute opposite of good.
Mr. Wake!
Oh, vaya.
You found him.
Hi, Rose.
Oh, wow. I was just thinking about you, too.
Great.
I was just bringing Betsy some coffee. He's on the balcony, looking after Max. Poor thing. I really need to go. Great to see you again, Mr. Wake. Later!
Who's Max?
Y yo qué sé.
What an airhead.
Jeez, Mr. Takes a swing at everybody. This is not her fault. She's a very nice girl and, more importantly, a fan. She even has a fan site dedicated to you. And she was very helpful when I was looking for you. Seriously, Al, what you were saying in the car? Just listen to yourself. What, you shot a guy and his body just disappeared? When was the last time you slept? What, are you high? Have you been drinking?
No! Look, Barry, I'm missing a week. And someone's got Alice.
Do you
and everything's
understand
just...
what it sounds like when you say stuff like that? Don't get me wrong, it's a good story, could be a bestseller. But when you start confusing fiction with reality, you're buying yourself a ticket to the funny farm.
Wait here.
Quédate aquí, Barry, y no abras esa boca. No más palabras. Solo quiero pillar mi termo. Unas patatitas. Y ese debe ser Rusty, ¿no? Menuda caballita.
Easy there, boy. I'm almost done.
Hey, Rusty, right? You rent cabins.
Oh, Mr. Wake. I'd shake your hand, but mine are kind of full here. Actually, I'm sorry about this. Would you mind grabbing the registration form from the desk? It's just across from Bucktooth Charlie.
Okay, sure. What happened?
Crazy poachers. Max here got his foot caught in a trap. They're illegal to use here. Hell, you're not supposed to hunt within the park at all. But that doesn't stop some lowlifes. Well, at least Max is gonna be okay. He got lucky. Max is still groggy from the shot I gave him, and I'd rather not leave him alone just yet. The form's on the desk across from the mammoth skeleton.
Detrás del esqueleto del mamut.
Seriously, Al, you can't just go and meet a kidnapper. Those situations always end up in disaster.
Cállate.
Talk to the cops.
She's my wife, and it's my call. Can we talk about this later?
No. This whole thing... Listen, you hit your head. I mean, geez, Al, come on. You gotta understand how crazy all this sounds. If you're trying to pull a joke on me, freak me out, it's working. Ha ha, let's have a laugh on Barry. Well, you had me going there real funny, Al. You can quit it now.
Debe ser esto. Llevar el formulario al Rusty. Menudo mamut. Esqueleto de un mamut de Columbia. Mamutus columbi. Se estima que este ejemplar tiene 14.000 años y fue encontrado en las fosas del Alquitrán de La Brea en 1981. Fue donada al Parque Nacional Elderwood en 1998, cuando el mamut de Columbia se convirtió en el fósil oficial del estado de Washington. Recibe el apodo de Charlie Dientes Largos y ahora es la mascota oficial del parque. Interesante.
I think this is the form you wanted.
And here are the keys. Okay, you're all set, Mr. Wake. Glad to have you staying here.
Thanks. Can you tell me how to get to Lover's Peak?
Oh, sure. It's at the end of the nature trail. Just follow the paths, you'll get to it eventually. It's an easy walk. Nice spot, too. If you have any trouble finding it, just keep your eyes on the radio mast. It's right below that. Oh, and hey, if you take a walk in the woods, watch your steps so you don't end up like Max.
Vaya, nuevamente nos toca un pequeño paseito por el bosque.
You're asking me to believe that you shot a dude
Cállate, Barry, cállate.
into thin air, a guy who was bulletproof until you pointed a flashlight at him. You hear that from people who end up spending time in past.
Pesado al Barry.
Crazy talk, Al. Al? We should go to the sheriff or call the FBI.
Damn it, Barry, they'll kill her. This is not a goddamn debate, Barry. I'm going to Lover's Peak. He said to come alone.
Okay then. I understand. You're my best friend and I'm worried that you're not right in the head. Tell me what to do to help and I'll do it.
You stay here, and if I'm not back by morning, call the cavalry.
Jesus.
Careful with the natives, Al. These yokels are dangerous. Everybody hates a tourist, or it'll be deliverance all over again.
Bless you.
Oh, this place is trying to kill me. I'll bet there's mold in here, spores, poison ivy, God knows what. This is so not worth a 15% commission.
Vale, pues nada, vámonos. Durante con Rusty. Otro termo por aquí. Vale, pilas. No tengo arma ni nada. Parece que me lo quitan en cada campaña. Digo, en cada episodio. Cambiar luces. Mejor así. Nos toca ir por la carretera. Y encima de noche. Otro termo por aquí. Hostia, un jacuzzi. Y un pozo. Mientras no salga algo raro del pozo, una niña o algo, no pasa nada. Hay que seguir la antena, dijo, ¿no?
I'll wait here, Al. I'll hold down the fort. I'll be with you in spirit every step of the way, Al. Locking the door now.
Vale, ya tenemos un revólver con 12 de munición. ¿Vehículos se puede usar? Ah, sí, se puede usar vehículos. Hostia. Vale, vale, eso cambia las cosas. Otro manuscrito. Barry duda de la cordura de Wake.
Barry had never gotten along with Alice, but he knew Alan loved her with an almost frightening intensity. And now something had happened to Alice. And here was Al armed with a gun and saying things people got put in padded cells for. It was as if his friend had experienced a massive psychotic episode and was now totally disconnected from reality. It scared the shit out of Barry.
Vale, nada por aquí.
I knew I should have gone to the cops. This wasn't the smartest thing I'd ever done, but I was still angry with Barry for trying to talk me out of it. These people had called me right in the sheriff's station. The cops wouldn't scare them. And they had Alice. Barry had the keys to the car he rented. Wasn't a long walk to the visitor center, and it wouldn't be any use to me in the forest.
Mierda, me ilusioné. No puedo usar el coche. Joder. Vale, he hecho un pequeño ajuste. He bajado mi careto un pelín. Para que así podáis ver, pues encima mío, el arma que llevo y toda la munición, ¿vale? Yo creo que no es algo tan importante, creo, pero no sé. Pero digo, bueno, para que también sepáis qué armas tengo actualmente y todo eso, cuánta munición me queda. Y un poco más. Vale, tenemos otros por ahí. Joder. Vale, lo que me vendría bien también sería buscar más suministros, más pilas, que si mal no recordamos 20 era el límite y 41 de pistola.
Welcome back to the show, folks. As promised, our very own Dr. Nelson has just parked his rear end in the studio. Doc, what's your Deerfest plan like?
My plan? You make it sound a lot more organized than I ever seem to manage.
Oh, yeah.
No plan, really. Just taking the atmosphere. I'm getting a little too rickety to do much more than that, you know.
Oh, tell me about it. No sack race for us older gentlemen, huh?
Yes, exactly, Pat. But I'm gonna check out the parade, of course. And I'll be one of the pie contest judges, too.
Well, that takes a different kind of constitution.
Oh, yeah. It's my kind of exercise.
Now, Doc, seriously, you're in pretty good shape, though. You're the outdoors type. I know for a fact you're an avid fisherman.
That's right. Matter of fact, just caught a heck of a largemouth bass early this morning.
But you're not taking part in the fishing contest?
No, not this year. See, Pat, I'm just not
¿Qué cojones?
active anymore. Now I just like to take my time and enjoy the peace of it. It's no fun if I need to worry about what I'm catching, you know?
Considering your track record, the participants are probably pretty happy you feel that way.
Well, Pat, that's kind of you to say.
Te lo juro que he visto un poseído pasar por aquí. Era un poseído, ¿no? Cuidado con caídas. ¿Qué pasa? ¿Qué pasó? Vale, lo mismo, vamos a inspeccionar cada casa que nos encontremos. Creo que este es otro programa de esos, ¿no?
Crime and punishment. The cancer and cure of civilization. But some crimes are impossible to punish, especially in Night Springs. Tonight's episode.
El hombre del espejo.
So, you're confessing to killing that guy, huh? Why?
Had it coming?
Yeah, but why would you do that? I mean, you're a nice guy. Normal. Took your kid to a soccer game. So how come at the game, you pick a guy and, quoting from the arresting officer's report here, assault the victim's head area repeatedly with the weapon of choice being a pair of bare fists? Wow, that sentence really flows, huh? Maybe you're not the literary type. Okay, so you mess him up. But why? Who was that guy? We couldn't ID him. Why would a guy like you do him like that?
I didn't like his face?
Well, you must have hated it, because you really went to town there. I mean, there's no way to tell what he looked like. No ID on him either.
That must be difficult.
But then we ran the fingerprints. Got a match. Your prints. Identical.
Huh, how about that?
Your son said you were wearing a white shirt when you took him to the game. But the white shirt is on the dead guy.
It's plenty red now.
You won't get away with this.
Do you really think that's in any way relevant to me? I had plenty of time to talk to my boy before the cops arrived, you know? He won't stop screaming, am I right? You think he's ever gonna be okay? I left my mark, believe me.
You bastard.
What? You gonna shoot me? What's the point? I'm going to prison. You got me.
I don't understand any of this.
And you never will. Don't worry. Maybe you'll see me again, Agent. Maybe in the mirror.
Me imagino que estas series cortas así, no sé, son de un poquito de reflexionar, de pensar o no sé qué. O historias para pasar rato, sencillamente. Cojones. Cuervos. Vale, sigamos. Rusty se muere.
The air in the visitor center was heavy with an awful smell, as if some rotten drowned thing had crawled up from its grave. Rusty kept coughing blood. My eyes were drawn to the twisted shape of his broken leg. The attack had been vicious. Max whined in his cage. Rusty's eyes were wild with fear and terror. He gasped. Mr. Wake, it happened just the way it was on that page.
Rusty. O sea que el tío que nos dio las llaves se va a morir.
The vision left me weak. This was no head injury. Rusty, damn.
Rusty, hang on! I'm coming! Please, help me!
Joder. Aguanta, Rusty.
Can you hear me? Anyone? Please help!
Hello?
Back here. I'm back here. Hey, please.
Mr. Wake? Oh, hell. It happened just the way it was on that page. I found. Came true. It knew. So dark. It'll come back for me. You must... The lights. In the office. I have the key.
Okay, Rusty. Hang on. I'll be right back. Whatever did this couldn't be far. Rusty had found a page from the manuscript. It would help me understand what had happened.
Ha leído una página del manuscrito. Oh, la destroza la pierna, chaval. Enciende la luz. Y en todo este desorden, ¿dónde coño está la luz?
The only way to make sure that Rusty was safe was to get the power running and the lights back on.
Está aquí dentro. Otra página más. La presencia oscura ataca a Rusty.
The visitor center was sturdy, but the impact turned the front of the building into splinters. Rusty was thrown across the lobby like a rag doll and hit the far wall hard. It didn't hurt until he tried to move and saw his leg bend the wrong way. Felt the broken rib stabbing him on the inside. Rusty howled in pain and fear, suddenly afraid to die alone.
Joder. Sí, tiene pinta de que está aquí. Wake lleva a un refugio seguro de luz.
At the last instant, I changed direction and threw myself down. The axe splintered the trunk of a tree. I stumbled into the pool of bright light. My lungs burned. I was too exhausted to move. I tensed as I waited for the killing blow, but it never came. I raised my head. Nothing moved in the darkness beyond. For the moment, bathed in the cold light, I was safe.
Hola, ¿hay alguien por aquí? No me ataquen, por favor.
I was too late. Someone had destroyed the circuit breaker. There was no way to get the lights back on.
Rusty!
The ground was covered with oily patches that looked like liquid darkness.
¿Qué es eso? Materia negra, parece.
Something had torn a mammoth-sized hole in the wall.
Joder, hasta el perro se lo ha llevado. No, el perrete.
Please don't feed the animals. Fishing is only permitted for those visitors who purchase a park fishing license. Obey! At all times. Rusty, no! Never! Do bears and wolves never approach any other wildlife closer than 25 yards? Pets must be leashed. At all times. Never leave your pet unattended. Against the law. To remove any natural object from the park. Gross.
¿Qué tal, amigos? Adiós a Rusty. Uy, no me gustan estas cajas de munición infinita. ¿Y el perro? ¿También lo van a convertir? Cojones, ¿están talando los árboles estos cabrones o qué? aquí, ¿no? Sí. Vale, punto de control.
What the hell was that? I saw it from the window. I saw something.
Forget about it, Barry. It's just me going crazy.
Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. You're not crazy. I wish you were crazy, but you're not crazy. Ow, be careful.
Stay in the cabin. Don't open the door for anyone. I mean it.
Ahora sí lo ves, Barry. No, que estaba loco. Vale, una cajita de emergencia. No será por ahí, ¿verdad? Sí, es por ahí. Las últimas palabras de Rusty.
In that last instant of consciousness, Rusty thought about Rose. He was older than she was. Rose was barely out of her teens, but she made him feel young and forget what a train wreck his long-dead marriage had been. He still wore the ring. He'd been waiting for her to tell him to take it off. Now she never would.
Estaba colada por la camarera esa. Nuevamente punto de control.
Lover's Peak was at the far end of the nature trail.
¿Es por ahí? ¿Y por aquí qué es? Vale, tiene que ser por ahí. Entonces vamos a mirar qué coño hay por aquí. Ah, amigo, suministros ocultos. Hostia, la escopeta. Y la bengala. Nice. Y un huevo de cuervos arriba. Pero bastantes. poco tranquilo, ¿no? Pillar esto. No ha venido por nosotros nadie. Lovers Peak. A ver, otra página de manuscrito. Barry conoce a Rose.
Nobody in Bright Falls seemed to know where Al was, but Rose, the waitress at the diner, had seen him. From what Barry could tell, Al pretty much fell off the face of the earth when he left the diner. Rose was just the kind of fan that Al hated, but she really tried to help. She was smart too, knew a lot about what was going on in the town, knew a lot about Al, even knew who Barry was. Barry liked her. That was no big surprise. When it came to women, Barry and Al rarely saw eye to eye.
Vale, vámonos de aquí, que solamente había una página. De aquí vienen. De aquí vienen. Ahora no venís, ¿eh? Donde hay luz. Vale, pero es solamente temporal. Hostia. Ay. Sigue sonando todavía este vientecillo ahí fuerte. Joder, ¿cuánto soy aquí? Enciéndete, enciéndete. Justo se apaga cuando llego, qué cabrones. Para otra página de por aquí. Wake ve el símbolo de la antorcha.
I turned the corner, afraid of what the flashlight's beam might reveal. Suddenly, a roughly painted symbol of a torch glowed in the light. Behind it, hidden by a rock, sat a battered metal trunk. It was here for a reason. Packed with supplies, batteries, flares, ammo. Things you need to make it through the darkness of the night. Something left behind by someone who knew what I knew, and more.
Bueno, aparte de la señora que comentábamos antes, que parece que estaba atenta. Qué hijos de... A punta de hachazos se cargan todo el cuadro eléctrico. Lo que decía la señora esta, que está precavida con la oscuridad y todo eso. Osos. ¿Es en serio? Ya te he visto, Manoli, ya te he visto. Joder. ¡No! Es lo que pasa por no mirar por dónde voy. El hermano mayor este es el que más... De aquí te pillo, aquí te mato. Hay que tener mucho cuidado. Me comí toda la pared por no mirar también a dónde ir. Termo por aquí. Esta sección pertenece a un árbol que brotó en 1846, año que se firmó el Tratado de Oregón. Otros sucesos notables en los anillos. Vale, un poco del lore, ¿no? De los acontecimientos que sucedieron en la zona. Bueno, de momento, como enemigos nuevos, aparte de los que son los más rapidillos, estos que aguantan 2 tiros, pero el hermano mayor es el que hay que estar más al loro. Y a ver cómo pasamos ahora por aquí. ¿Por aquí? Pues sí. Y otra página. La llegada de Nightingale.
Agent Nightingale didn't want to be in Bright Falls. These little communities revolted him. and he didn't like the trees or the coffee. He now knew that impossible horrors lurked behind the storefronts and smiles. He desperately wanted to turn the car around and just drive until he passed out or ran out of road and booze. But he had a job to do. He had a rider to catch, at any cost.
Debía de detener al novelista a toda costa. Parece que va a venir a por nosotros. Cuervos, cuervos. Seguro que esto se va a menear de una manera un tanto preocupante. Bueno. ¿Cómo lo sabe? Oh, oh.
Come on, we gotta get moving. More of them coming. That flashlight's kid stuff. The flares will keep the bastards away.
Bengalas.
You can see them too? Hell, of course I see them. Come on, we gotta move.
Mantén pulsado para usar una bengala.
Because that's the way the story goes.
Yeah, but...
Let's move!
I lost my gun back there.
Oh, I've got a gun. Just keep that light steady on him.
It took a moment, but then I recognized him. He'd been on the ferry when I first arrived.
Exacto, estaba en el transportador, sí.
My name. We were headed in the direction of Lover's Peak. There was no way this was a coincidence. He was the kidnapper.
Come on, Wake! You better keep up.
¡Au! Pero sí he esquivado. Reviéntale, reviéntale. Ay, hijo de tu... Recarga, recarga, recarga.
Lover's Peak. Right up these stairs, Wake. Use the flares from the emergency box to hold them off while I get these boards off.
Give me the gun.
Yeah, no can do, Wake.
Are you kidding? Give me the gun!
No time for back talk. Pull them off, damn it.
Vale, hay que mantener presionado porque antes lo había soltado y claro.
Just a little longer. Scare them off.
Eso, ahí, ahí.
Get some light on those bastards. That'll keep them off us.
Venga, tío.
I almost got it. Okay, it's over. Move it or lose it.
A correr.
You just keep coming.
Hostia, tú.
Oh, you're feeling better now, Wake. All cozy and safe. Wake, where'd that one go? Better get ready. They'll be on us soon.
Me quedan 5, my friend. No te vengas arriba, que si no... Vale, ahí hay más. Otra cajita más de suministros.
This is it, Wake. The last stand. There's more flares here. Get ready. We fight them as long as they keep coming.
Give me the goddamn gun! They're coming!
That's not how this goes. Get with the program, Wake. What I got for you?
Recarga, maldita sea. Qué falso. Un termo, un termo. El hermano mayor. Que el cabrón no nos da un arma. Todo tuyo, todo tuyo. Cabrón, pelatina. Ahí, ahí, bien, bien.
Let's cut the act now. Where's my wife?
I knew you were gonna say that. I read it all before. You're a hell of a writer. Congratulations. You're gonna bring about something glorious and terrible once we get you some proper editorial control.
What the hell are you talking about? Where's Alice?
I want the entire manuscript, or she's gonna suffer bad.
You touch her mouth.
Menuda rata.
You're gonna give me the manuscript or you'll be sorry. No! Come back here! I swear I'll kill you if you hurt Alice! Do you hear me? Come back here! He had Alice, and he wanted the manuscript because he thought it held some magical power. But I had no manuscript to give him. I had to get back to Barry and figure out my next move.
El miedo de irse a la oscuridad.
On more than one occasion, Alice had tried to explain to me how it felt to be afraid of the dark. To her, darkness wasn't simply the absence of light, but something more tangible than that. It was something you could touch and feel. Worse than that, it was something with a mind of its own, something malicious and malign. For her, things changed when they were wrapped in darkness. They turned into something else, something foreign, and nothing was safe or innocent anymore. I'd never really understood what she meant. Until now.
Vale, vamos a cruzar por aquí. Un viadito. Aparta, cuervo. Cuidadito mis cojones, esto se viene abajo. Cuervo, cuervo. Pues nuevamente solos. Ah, vale. Es una trampa. Y por lo visto, con la... iluminarlos con la linterna, parece que lo deja revelado. La madre que lo parió. Yo un poco más y me lo como. Creía que era una página o algo. Es que no hay nada por aquí. Ok. He venido por esta parte, pensaba que iba a haber una página o algo para recoger. Está plagadísimo de trampas esto. Debe ser el tío. Menudo cabronazo. Menudo cabronazo. Pues si se pensaba que me iba a comer alguna, me da que no. Segunda página de manuscrito aquí. Sarah piensa en Wake.
Sarah didn't care about the legal threats Wake's agent had made. She let Wake go without argument, because there was something about him she couldn't quite put her finger on. Something that reminded her of her father. She didn't think Wake would hurt his wife. Then she thought about the way he waded into Hartman, that hair-trigger rage flaring up without warning.
Un termo. Está por allá. Pasito a pasito, suave, suavecito. Todavía sigue el... Como odio cuando ocurre esto. Au. Lo que no sé es si me quedo mucho tiempo así aquí. Van a seguir saliendo sin parar o... cojones? Ay, hijo de tu... Cabrón. Dios. Pero por aquí. Creo que tenía que haber dejado la bengala en el suelo para que me hiciera tiempo y encender el generador. No lo pensé en ese momento por la emoción. Voy a coger una motosierra. No me jodas.
The night had been one desperate situation after another. I was exhausted, and my body felt as though it had been chewed up and spat out. The flashlight was heavy in my hand, and each pull of the trigger sent a painful shock up my arm. But I was finally out of the woods and things were looking up. That's when I heard the chainsaw.
¿Un fusil de caza? Esto sí tiene que hacer mucho daño. Hijo de... Ahora sí no venís, ¿eh? Vale, es por ahí. Por aquí. Au. Por aquí. Sí. Vale. Los que mueren a 2 tiros, esos que vienen con sus dagas, que vienen también en chándal, son los que me Dios. Ese hijo de tu. Qué susto, por Dios. Pensaba que me iba. Lo que estaba diciendo, los que vienen en chándal son los que ahora me están jodiendo más, Es que vienen muy rápido y claro. Y en sitios pequeños me acribillan como antes ha pasado. No sé por qué ahora tenemos una materia negra que sale en el suelo. Vale, bien se ve la parte de arriba del molino, pero antes vamos a investigar. Pues eso, la casa un poquito, mira lo que hay por aquí. Los ayudantes de la sheriff en el depósito de trompos.
The site was a mess. The modular office had been pushed off the cliff. Deputy Thornton climbed up from the wreckage excited, breathing hard from the exertion. Nobody there. It's weird. Don't you think that's weird? Bored, Mulligan let out a mighty snort. Hell, it's always weird, Thornton. Just a question of sorting out what kind of weird it is this time around.
Vale, ahora sí, vámonos para arriba. Ah, vale. Un saltito. Y otra página. Barry and Elderwood.
When Barry saw the darkness attack the visitor center, it made him a believer. The men Al said he'd shot, they hadn't been just locals on crank. Somehow the world had changed, like the channel had been switched without warning. You think you're watching a sitcom, and you're really watching a horror show. When the birds started attacking the cabin, Barry wasn't surprised, just terrified.
A saber si volveremos a reencontrarnos con Barry. Más bengalas. Más bengalas, otro termo. Y una escalera. ¿O hay alguien arriba o esto se cae a trozos? A ver, el cabrón que está ahí arriba, como no salga, lo hago salir. Nada, creo que es por lo que está muy viejo esto. Está tan viejo que se cae a trozos. O tu hermano mayor. Este tío sí de 3 hachazos me finiquita. Vale, o podemos tener ambas, escopeta y fusil, o la está reemplazando, creo. Escopeta o fusil. Que me dejo esta página. Está por aquí arriba. Hay que hacer parkour también. Wake siente la presencia oscura.
I was stirred and the wind picked up as I ran through the forest. I felt the dark presence turning its gaze toward me. Then the moonlight was blotted out by dark shadows that raced violently across the ground, moving too swiftly to be natural. Darkness gathered between the trees and melted again to reveal the taken. No natural path had brought them here.
¿Dónde diablos ha ido el cazador también? Lo hemos perdido ya de vista. Lo hemos perdido de vista y no sé si lo vamos a volver a encontrar. Me cago en tu vida. Tócate los cojones, son 2 tochos. 2 hermanos mayores. Vale, me quedan de momento también 8 bengalas. Creo que daré por hecho de que si un árbol se cae es porque hay uno ahí, ¿no? Efectivamente. Ah, bueno. Hablando de leñadores. Cuanto más tocho, La pila no da abasto, Vale, vale. Joder, que rifle de casa solo hay que utilizarlo para momentos como estos. Para enemigos poderosos. Nada más. Vale, creo que ya se terminó la cacería. Que me doy la vuelta porque escucho un jadeo, un suspiro, algo, no sé. Uf.
Barry? Ow! The porch is covered with birds. They've got all Hitchcock on me.
Stay out of sight. I'm on my way. Don't open the door.
What am I, crazy?
Stay hidden. I'll be there soon. Just make sure you keep the lights on.
Pájaros. Una zona de camping.
I still had to reach Barry at the cabin, but at least I was out of the woods.
Mierda.
I'd have to get the car from the locked garage. It would get me back to Barry faster, and the headlights were a welcome bonus.
Pues sí, un poco de luz extra no nos viene nada mal. Vale, hay que buscar las llaves en el taller. Digo, las llaves del taller. Uy. Nightingale le dispara a Wake.
The FBI agent's command froze me in place. I considered surrender. It was all falling apart anyway. I could give in, let someone else deal with it, but it felt all wrong. Call it instinct, his posture, the way he held the gun. He was no friend. Shots ringing in my ears, I leaped for the hole in the fence and stumbled into the darkness beyond.
Hay alguien aquí. Escucho sus pasos.
I had to find the key to the garage.
Escucho una puerta abrirse o cerrarse. Otra vez.
I needed the garage key to get to the car.
Que sí, coño, cállate. Hola.
The garage key had to be somewhere nearby. A story is not a machine that does what you tell it. A story is a beast with a life of its own. You can create it, shape it, but as the story grows, it starts wanting things of its own. Change one thing and you set off a chain reaction of events that spreads through the whole thing. The characters have to be true to themselves. The events need to follow a logic that fits the story. A single flaw and the magic is gone. The story dies. Alice dies.
Otra televisión chamuscada. Vale, regresemos al coche. ¿Cómo te has escondido, hijo de...? Espero no estar dejándome nada por aquí. Vale. Primera toma de control con un coche en este juego. Acelerar, girar. Bueno, es todo lo mismo. Frenar, dar marcha atrás. Mantén pulso esto para dar intensidad. Vale, de acuerdo. Entonces, Berry. Vamos a poner. Creo que voy a tener que colocar esto en dirección de que no me molesten estos cabros. Uy, se me está rompiendo el coche. Vámonos de aquí, pero ya. Espero que me aguante el coche lo que quede de coche. Joder, pero si esto está plagado. Me la juego. La desesperación de Wake.
There was no misunderstanding. Cauldron Lake was where Alice and I had stayed, but there was no cabin and no island. I was missing a week. What had happened to me? What had happened to Alice? I had to get her back. I couldn't face life without her.
Rápidamente. Vale, eso no quería hacerlo, pero... Ok. ¿Es por aquí? Tiene toda la pinta, sí. Espero que esto funcione. No. Pues nada, nos toca ir a pie. Aguanta, Berry. El ataque de los cuervos.
Probably the best weapon I could imagine against the dark things I was facing.
Atrás. ¡Wow! ¡Pum!
It was the kidnapper.
You son of a bitch! Where's my wife? Enough horseplay, Wake. You deliver the manuscript, and you can have your woman back. Simple as that.
I don't... Listen. I'm gonna need time to finish it. I still need to write the ending. I need a week.
It's not done?
I need a week.
2 days. The old Bright Falls coal mine is nearby. You can find it easy, city boy. The main building, there at noon. You bring the manuscript, you'll get your wife. If not, well, get me?
Yes, I get you.
Pero me ca... Joder, Berry. ¿Qué diablos has hecho para tener tantos pájaros?
Barry had talked about birds over the phone.
Berry, cabrón, te has pasado, ¿eh? Venir aquí, bandada. Pudiera por mí. Acabemos con los pájaros. Pajaritos.
Hey, Al. I'm sorry for thinking you were having a psychotic episode, man.
I sent Barry to the town to ask around about a man fitting the kidnapper's description. He'd go through the archives of the local paper. Perhaps he could learn something. Anything about the island and the cabin that had disappeared. The man wanted a manuscript. I had to try to write him one to get Alice back. For me, the supernatural had always been nothing but a metaphor for the human psyche, a tool to use in writing fiction. Now, it was happening for real, and I couldn't put a single word on paper.
Barry Wheeler speaking.
This is Rose.
Rose?
I found Mr. Wake's pages.
Oh, you sweet, brilliant girl.
Could you and Mr. Wake come get them? I live in the trailer park outside the town.
We'll be there in less than an hour.
Bye now.
See you soon.
Have a great day. Hope you come back soon. Welcome to the Oh Dear Diner.
Good girl.
La vieja otra vez. No puede ser. Puede ser que esta vieja es la que se encarga de... Digamos que... ¿Será la líder de la oscuridad? No lo sé. Pero... Tiene toda la pinta.